Okay, welcome back, you bastards. How you doing, all you fucking shitheads? Right, basically, yeah, obviously the situation the other day on the curry situation, I ate it because I'm a greedy bastard. Right, okay, now we're getting on from that, we're moving on, yeah. We're talking about moving on cycles, yeah. We're getting into a scenario, yeah, where my ability is not in question. Yeah. We've got people missing in action. I've got Melina in Melina in Hampshire. I probably spoke that pronounce that. I can't do it because obviously we've got situations today. So we're going to make up for our irresponsibility, yeah, on basically doing a mince and onion pie. It's going to be a mince and onion blue Stilton pie, okay, with a cheese pastry, okay, and it's going to be amazing, yeah. And we're going to be doing beautiful, and some beautiful roast potatoes and parsnip and some bacon peas. So we're getting into some very delectable situations now. As I get on with this and I progress with this masterpiece, as we on. Oh, actually, I'll need to get it off at the start because otherwise, Alan, Private Lance Corporal Alan, because you're on my channel, so that means I get to call you by your rank. So Lance Corporal Alan, okay. I'm actually going to do a promotion in this video as well. We've got a gang member that I'm going to promote into the squad membership, okay? You're going to come in as a private, okay? And we're going to do it now. I'm going to do it now because I need to. Right, here we go. I need one spoon to do a promotion properly. Right, okay. Right, the whole fag's just fell out in my pan. Hang on a minute, I'm not happy with that. Right, I've rescued the situation. I've literally, as the tobacco was smoking, I re-rolled it in another Rizzler with a new roach. That's because how amazing I am. Right, okay. Let's do it. Right, so I've got one spoon. We're going to hereby promote. We are raising, yeah. We're raising, I'm promoting from the gang membership to the squad membership. Mr. Private Finn, arise, Sir Private Finn, you are now a squad member. And we have, as a little bit of a contributory note, because I think he's still a private, we've had a bit of a sniffing of Mr. Mike 5. If anyone can remember Mr. Mike 5, apparently had to go away on army duties. We don't know about that situation. And we hope he's back into the UK and he's doing well. So that's all good in the hood. Right, okay, so this is what we're going to do. I'm going to chuck that empty vessel there and I'm going to do some serious. I've got the washing machine on. Right, I'm doing some washing machine ability. Right, so first things first, onionage. So, like I said, this is going to be quite a technical dish to be able to accomplish, to be honest with you. Yeah. So, a lot of people are saying, oh, well, actually, you know, but to be honest with you, yeah, there's a lot of delectabilities into this, okay, that people do not get prescribed to be able to understand and comprehend into any form of situations that will make it too amazing. Right, and that's just how it is, and it's always been that way. So I was just going through a fucking shitty advert there about how to look young when you're basically still young. It's just because you're young, right? And that's what makes me laugh about things. When you get young people going, oh, I look old and shit. No, you don't. You look fucking young, you fucker. Right, okay. I wouldn't want to look pubescent, to be honest with you. You know, I look amazing as I am. As Melina in Hampshire surely knows that I am literally a fucking cooker off, home cooker stud chef. There we go. Right, you either got it or you ain't. So it's just how it is. Right, now situations on this. We want mild chunk. Okay, so we're gonna cut it how we want it to erupt into the pie. Okay, so this is where we really do have to start thinking about things. Okay, so there we are. That's the sort of, so we're almost looking like cubage. Yeah, almost looking like cubage. Now there's not going to be really much scissorability in there at all, right? Because I haven't put any oil in it. Right, I'm going to put some rosemary, thyme and garlic oil in that. Get it lathered in, yeah, and get it up to a heat. Now we're going to start to cook it, yeah. Now we're going to start to almost like fermenting it, yeah. We're fermenting onions, not your onion rings or anything like that. We're fermenting onions, yeah. Here on the channel, we do it properly, yeah. We don't do it willy-nilly, yeah. We do it with ability, as if it was going to be going into a steak and onion, a beef and onion pie. So the beef we have got the beef that I had out last night. Alright, so it's completely defrosted now. We're not going to season it in any way at this particular moment. Okay, that's really important. Right. What we need to do, this onion is not doing what I want it to do. Right, it's literally being a bit of a refusenik. Yeah, it's not being able to complete the optics of hurry up and fucking fry, you bastard. Right, it's not doing it. Yeah, but what we're going to get it to do in a second. Right, okay, so there we go. Right, now we've got these up to a more fry-ability situation. We don't want to darken them too much, okay? We want to just get that translucent atmosphere in there, yeah. Really dedicating into its soul of being, yeah. But we're now going to take some garlic, right? So I am going to want some garlic into this. Now, I'm just going to go for 1 clove. Now, at the end of the day, yeah, your persuasion on garlic is up to you, right? That means it's literally up to your dedication. Right, I'm going to now start to get on to Alan's requests about the rules for the cake-off, right? And when it's going to happen, right? Right, this is how it's going to go down. So this is the final instruction. I want everyone to take note of this, okay? These are the final instructions now, right? So, there we go. Because I am still poor, right? So this might be the last video for the rest of the week, right? So, right, final instruction. Okay, these are the situations. Right, the participants are Mrs. Tracy in Northern England, okay? We've got Mr. Allen, yeah, Private Allen, no, not Private Allen, Lance Corporal Allen on my channel, and Special Agent Tracy on my channel. They're the 2 competitors, okay? The wild card is Mr. Dennis, okay? Now, at the moment, we don't know where Mr. Dennis is, right? I'm concerned for him to be I'm not like taking the piss or anything like that. I am actually concerned for him. We haven't heard from him in 5 days. Where are you, Dennis? Yeah? Like, I'm thinking to myself, because I've worked in a care home, and I'm thinking something's happened, right? So, because he has not uploaded in over 5 days now. So, I'm getting a bit worried about Mr. Dennis, to be honest. Okay, I'm going to lower that right down. Okay, got another onion to put in. So, I want these done in same as the ones I did before. We want them done in 2 different slight stages, yeah? And that's just how I want it to be in that situation. Okay, right. Okay, same situation. Okay, we're going to peel that onion. And when you peel it, make sure you can get rid of all that skin and all that stuff. Right, yeah, so I'm a little bit concerned, seriously. I hope he's alright. So, because we haven't heard from you, Dennis, mate, it's a little bit fucking, like, what the fuck is going on? Right, okay, let's do it. Right, okay, they're getting nice colour on them now. Anything that's going to go in there is going to go in there. I'm going to do this really quickly because I need to get these cooked off as well. So we're going to have 2 different stages of onion, right, in their level of cook, which is exactly what I want, right? So you're going to have, when you go into that meat pie, oh shit. I haven't gone into a meat pie for quite a long time, to be honest with you. My meat stick has not entered a meat pie, which is annoying, but at the same time, like stress, like less stress actually, to us. But okay, so I mean, apart from getting over the initial shock of it, you know, about dippage, yeah, I mean, I know, there we are. Right, okay, let's get off that topic. Okay, let's get on to this. Right, I've sort of fucked that onion up a bit there. Fuck it. We want it rustic anyway. We're going for rustic ability. Yeah. And that's just how I want to do it. I'm getting really a bit bollocks up here now. Right, okay, I've got bits of onion all over the floor. One's trying to fly out and everything. One's gone in the ashtray, it's trying to escape. Right, okay. Right, okay, let's get that mix here. Let's turn that back up to a nice high heat. Right, yeah, so Alan needs to, right, so we need, right, Alan wants to know the rules. Right, basically, the rules of the cake-off, this is what's going to happen. So we've got the participants, Tracy, Alan, Wildcard, Dennis, if he comes back from missing in action, yeah? This is going to start kicking off. It's going to series of 3 rounds. Okay, 3 rounds, right? And there's going to be 1 round a month. So it's going to go on for 3 months. Actually, that's probably a bit, that's too long, isn't it? Yeah, that's far too long. So I can't have it dragging on for 3 months. That's ridiculous. Right. So the first round is going to start the weekend after Mother's Day weekend. So Mother's Day is this coming weekend. It's going to start the following weekend, right? And then we're going to have a break for a week, and then round 2 will start after that, and then we'll have a break for another week, and round 3, the final round will start after that. Right, okay, that's that. So that's the schedule set out. So round 1 in a week after Mother's Day, starting at the weekend. Now, who gets to start it, right? The person who gets to start the rounds, the first round, is going to be Mrs. Tracy. So as soon as she starts it off, and she needs to title the video as, I don't know, something like cake cook-off round 1, or something like that. And then Alan will pick that up, he will do his one, Tracy will do her one, and then we'll judge that. And then 2 weeks later, so it's every other week, so 2 weeks later, Alan will start off round 2, same title, round 2 cake challenge, cook off, or whatever he wants to say. And then Tracy will follow up, and if Dennis pitches in, then Dennis pitches in. Yeah. And then the final say is with Mrs. Tracy on round 3, which is 2 weeks after round 2. So that's basically how we're going to do it. Okie dokie. So that's the way. Yeah, so that's the situation. So right, now Alan wants to know what the rules are. Right, the rules are, it's got to be a cake, right? I don't care what sort of cake it is. There's no, I'm not having any bread cakes or anything like that. It's got to be a cake, right? So a Christmas cake to a cake, right? Of whatever the fuck you want it to be, right? Okay, the rules are, there are no rules. That's it. The only rule is, make it as mental as you like, right? I want balls deep to the wall madness. Yeah, I don't want you to skint yourself over it or anything like that, but just use, I want imagination, I want to see creativity. Right, that's what I want to see. So the objective is who can be the most creative, right? So you can go down a traditional route, which I think Alan might do, or we'll see. If you want to go down a traditional route of cakes, brilliant. If you want to go mental, brilliant. That's great. But that's the rules. That's it. The rules are, there are no rules, right? As long as it's a cake, right? Not a bread, right? If it's got bready elements, like, I don't want you to make a bread and put some sultanas in it and some raisins and say, oh, it's a cake. That's not allowed, right? It's got to be, like, I want the cake, right? I want it to either be, you can have as something like as a tea time cake, or like a sticky toffee pudding, right? Or a pudding, that's fine. Right, cakes and puddings are allowed, right? So if you want to go cake, great. You want to go a pudding, but the pudding has got to be able to go with at least a custard, at least a nice hot custard, right? So if you want to go down that route, but I don't want to see someone making bread and sticking raisins in it and going, oh yeah, that's a cake, right? So puddings are fine and cakes are fine. It's a dessert, a really nice dessert, that sort of shit, right? Not ice creams or anything like that. It's got to be a cake, a pudding, that sort of route. If you want to go whatever, right? That's the situation. So that's the rules. That's them set out now, right? I'm not having it, right? So that's the rules. That's it. Right, I'm going to whack the beef in now. Okay, the beef is in, right? Okie dokie, right. But I want a nice bit of season on that. Okay, right now, that's that situation nicely sorted. I don't want too much of that shit. Jesus, right. Right, a nice bit of black pepper as well. Right. Okie dokie, here we go. Right, so we're going to get this nicely mixed round now. Right, so I've got a little bit too much of the pan. I had a bigger pan, but it was a little bit too upwards and you wouldn't be able to see in as good. So we're just going to, but I'm going to get this lightly fried off, right? Now, I have had major updates. I've had updates on Agent 123, Eric, okay? I don't know if I mentioned it in the last video, but I'm going to mention it in this video and we're going to see what's happened, because he is actually now on active duties. He's now travelling towards us with the Michelin letter. So it's quite a historic day, okay? Now obviously I've got massive news on the Laneham Asylum Centre for Nuthead Chefs, which are holding Ramsey, who's wandering around dribbling in the bib. He's still eating crayons and he's still wearing a nappy. Actually, this morning I got a text saying that he did like he had a bit of came down with a dose of explosive diarrhea. Okay, and it happened inside his cell, and Todd had to clean it up. I'm afraid to say, Todd's gotten slightly larger. He now weighs 35 stone. Okay, apparently his packed lunch consists of 14 cheeseburgers only, okay, with onions, a little bit of relish and a bit of French mustard, and 25 packets of salt and vinegar crisps, and some Mr. Kipling's chocolate cakes. So there we are. So that's an issue. So I mean, he's a big lad anyway. He's like, he's about 6 foot something. So, I think he can carry it off. I've seen pictures of him. I mean, he's getting a bit tubby, I will admit. But it's a better situation than what has been requested of Alvin. Now, anyone that doesn't know Alvin, who is the 79-year-old paraplegic, right? The news I got a few videos ago that he had movement in some form of left or right hand was utter nonsense, okay? He is a full-blown paraplegic. He can only move his nostrils and his lips, right? He's blind, and apparently now he's gone completely deaf in both ears. He has got hearing aids, and because of this situation, because he was the head of security in the Laneham Asylum Centre, they've taken the bold step, and I agree with it. I'm getting that wooden spoon. I haven't got wooden spoon because it's engaged, isn't it? So I'm bringing out second cousin of wooden spoon, okay? And because of obviously his defect in mental capacities, okay, and physical, let's be honest, I don't want to be discriminatory. He's been taken off the head, or not demoted, but just moved over to another sector in the asylum centre, okay. Now, it is an asylum centre, alright, for lunatic and the mentally deranged, and specifically holds a wing for demented chefs like Mr. Ramsey. Ainsley, we've got news on Ainsley, he's not doing very well. And Nigella Massive Bangers is in there as well, okay. Apparently she starts chickling around and pouring the prison gravy, hot as well, over her massive tits, and starts licking them off in front of the guard. Don't know. I've had, I want to see video evidence of this. These are all allegations, you know what I mean? So, and given the fact that Alvin, who's now in charge of the security, he's actually not Alvin, Todd. Todd is now in charge of the security. He's been given a promotion. I don't think it's going that well for him, to be honest with you. I really don't. So that's the situation. Yeah, right. I want to get this nicely heated up because we've got things to do to this now, right? Because we're now getting juices released. So we're not looking really for any colour on this. What we're looking for is succulence, alright? That's what I'm looking for. So that's why I've been yabbering on a bit. I had to tell the news anyway. Okay. Right, so I mentioned... Okay, so I mentioned, yeah, in this situation about the scenario. I'm just going to let this cook off, okay? We don't need to worry about any of this in a moment. It's just steaming. Yeah, we've got steamability going on, alright? And there's no chance of my faggot slipping off and going into that, it's fine. Right, okay, so basically, so Alvin has been transferred over to a new unit that he's now in charge of. Now, many of you might be sitting there thinking, well, what is this new unit going to be? What is it? What do they have in these facilities, yeah? Well, at the end of the day, they still need to be exercised, don't they? They still need to have their leisure time, yeah? And believe it or not, the Laneham Asylum Centre for Nutheads and Nuthead Chefs, okay, has got its own swimming pool, yeah? Yeah, you've guessed it. They've picked Alvin, a 79-year-old paraplegic that can only move his nostrils, yeah? He's blind and now deaf, in charge of the actual swimming infrastructure and overseer of safety. Basically, he's a lifeguard. Alright. Now, at the moment, I think it's fine because there's no way I can see anything going wrong with that. I really can't, right? Nothing can go wrong. If someone starts drowning in the swimming pool, Alvin is there. He's still got his little headset on his head with a little long tapper, and he can tap the alarm bell, yeah? That's his duty. He's got the mental capacity of a fucking ninja. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Right, so now we're going to start getting some real flavours into this, okay? Right, now I want bovril, right? I want bovril. Right, we want some meat in this coming into this now. So I want about a nice medium-sized teaspoon of bovril, or teaspoon, Yeah, only Bovril. Right, we've got a Knorr a Knorr beef succulent. If I can get it fucking open, which I can't. Jelly stock, that's going in. If it, yeah, there it goes. It goes in. It went in. It went in dramatically, and it went in with no interrogation. Yeah. Okay, that's it. Right, so we want to get this mixed in now. I'm gonna leave that to melt. Right. Right. Now we need to add a little bit of water to this. All right. Right. Okie dokie. Because we need to start creating basically a sauce. All right. So now, in the creation of this sauce that we're doing, okay, that we're making, it might need, right, to be thickened, right, and it probably will. But we're going to come across that bridge when we come across it, all right? Not when we don't come across it, not when we're like 20 miles down the road, we're ages away from the bridge, nobody knows even there's a bridge there. That's when we're not going to cross it. We're going to cross that bridge when it comes to it. Yeah. This is about the filling. Don't worry about the dough or the pastry, yeah, or even the potatoes. Actually, speaking about the potatoes, I've got to sort them out now, actually. So, right, let's do it. Right, we've got potatoes. Now, I've got the only half decent potatoes I could get, right, in the really rubbish shit shop up the road, was Bella potatoes. Now, they're not brilliant, right, for roasties. As you can see, I boiled these for ages, and they just would not, right, they just would not frost up, right. It was a nightmare. But I've got a feeling they're going to come off quite nice as roast potatoes, right. It's just they're not going to get that, there's not going to be that cragginess in it, like that. They're too waxy for that. But what they will do is they will crystallise within themselves actually quite well. I'll show you that in a second, right? Okie dokies, this is what I'm going to do. Right, I'm going to take, right, I need to turn that off. That is over there. That's going to do its thing, alright? So, okie dokie. Right, that one there. And that over there. That can just stay there, that's fine. Right, okay, that's not going to dip or anything like that or anything. Right, okay, right, so in here we obviously have the casserole baking potato special dish of amazing abilities, right? In there we have got pork fat, okay, and vegetable oil. That is the weapons of choice for today. I'm going to crack in a couple of cloves of garlic, right? That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to stay away from thyme or anything like that, alright? They're in. Right, okay, I need to get a big spoon out. Potatoes are in. Right, okay, we need to get these in quick. Okay, so yes, I'm a bit disappointed, but they will, treated correctly, these potatoes will still come up very, very nice, okay, in the actual in the actual cooking ability. Right, so they're in. Now we've got to turn them around. Now I have already salted these, right? So I want to get them in them juices, in that fat, get them covered, right? Completely covered. Now the aroma of that garlic, I've just put a garlic in, right? Like I said, I've already salted these. So yeah, you can see they haven't quite, and I boiled these for ages, mate. Right, they were even close to like breaking up, and still they were not frosting at all. So, you know, it is what it is. They will be amazing, literally, by my attention to detail only. That's it. Otherwise, left to, you know, normal chefs, these will just come out rubbish, right? But left to me, they'll come out fucking amazing. Guaranteed. Right, I'm going to give a little squirt with the rosemary, thyme and garlic oil over them, just in case. Just to add extra, yeah, extra. Right, oven's on 175, 180, 175-ish. yeah, that 175, they're in. Alright, that's it. That's their job done. Alright. So I'm going to put the platform of literally, basically stardom out. Alright. So, there we go. So we're going to cook this off now. Alright. So it looks a little bit shabby at the moment. Right. Everyone's going, oh, that looks rubbish. Right. But don't forget, right, that's going to, I want that cooking off for at least probably the next couple of hours, right? It'd be nice if the oven was actually on. Right, okay, or the flat was on, right? Okay, so what we've done today in part one. Now, like I said, I do apologise about the curry, you know, that was a bit selfish of me, but I was just so starving hungry, I had to do it. There was no option, right? I couldn't even be bothered to make a bacon and egg sarnie, right? It was just there. I was starving, literally drooling, yeah, from my fucking Michelin star in this, right? Okay, like I said, we have got updates on Double Agent 123. He is now on the floor. He's on the platform of the planet, yeah. We'll get into more details about that and how that happens, okay? It's got a lot of things to do with NASA, a couple of things to do with Einstein and Stephen Hawking's, and basically a lot of ingenuity, okay? It's happened. I think the agent himself is slightly confused. What I've gotten back from the debriefing details of his mission statement, a lot of translation going on, a lot of looking back through medieval texts, let's just say that. Right, okay, so what I'm gonna do, right, yeah, so there we go. So what I'm gonna do, we're gonna let this now basically cook off for like the next probably 40-50 minutes, get all them onion flavours in there, scrape it around, yeah, do what you need to do, yeah. We need to get this reduced down now, and that meat is going to start releasing loads of potential goodness. Now we are going to get this thickened up. I'm going to use basically Bisto gravy granules, yeah, proper good shit, yeah, for this sort of treatment, yeah, for what we're about to do. The only other thing I will say we're going to do that I've not forgotten about it. It's just I wanted to leave it to this point because we're going to do half now and a bit half later, and that is a bit of gold really for this, and that's some lovely blue cheese. Right. So this is good. What this is going to do, yeah, some beautiful. This is matured blue cheese done sergeant style, so it's like extra double triple, yeah, so it's basically like been triple matured. It's been matured professionally in the actual factory and or wherever, or farmhouse, unlikely, and then it's had double extra from myself. So this is blue cheese just crumbled in, yeah, crumbled in like a Mitchy would. And that's how Mitchy would think about this, yeah. It's about doing different tactics and taking different measures, yeah, and, you know, being sometimes overconfident and underconfident about yourself and your molecular abilities, yeah, okay? So what we're going to do, we're going to let that sit. We're going to let that sit in a very professional way, okay? Right, okay. So we've had the updates. We all know what Alvin's doing, poor bastard. Todd's got a new role. Ramsey's still on, but he's not even on tea duties now, actually, and things like that. Alan now knows the rules, and so does Tracy. So Tracy, you are the instigator. You will kick it off in round one. Then it's over to Alan, and then it's back to Tracy with 2-week intervals, and it starts on the Friday, which is the start of the weekend after Mother's Day weekend. Okay, that's the rules, and then it's every other week after that. Alright. If you want extra help on when the dates are, I will post them in your comments when you message me. Yeah. Finn, I think, should be over the moon, being progressed from the gang membership to the squad membership. So congratulations, Private Finn. Nice to hear from. I think he's still a private in the squad membership. Nice to hear from Mike 5. Toast Watcher, second Lieutenant Toast Watcher, we hear ya. Paloski, Company Officer Sir, First Lieutenant Sheep Unit, and Second Company Officer Mr. Ronaldsworth, who will be my judge sidekick in these cake-off or pudding debates or situations. Right? So, like I said, cake or pudding, yeah, not a bread, as long as it's a dessert, okay, either a tea time dessert or a lunchtime dessert, I ain't bothered. Knock yourselves out. The rules are, there are no rules, and there we go. Right, I am going to let this thicken down, and it's going to take quite a while now, because I've added that blue cheese in there, which is going to really start giving some powerful instrumentations of skillage and awareness. Alright, not ability, but awareness. Massive difference. I want people to understand that. Right, okay, you absolute peasants. I'm going to call this a part 1, and I will see all you peasantry fucking scum in part fucking 2. And with that, I'll fucking leave it with ya. Waiters. See you in part 2. Be good.